Have you ever tried to reason with someone who is highly emotional and it just didn't work? No matter how logical you were, no matter how correct you were, they just got worse. They escalated further. Well, there's a reason for that. When someone becomes agitated, they're not operating primarily from their rational brain, they're operating more from their emotional brain. The amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for threat detection and emotions. And this part has taken over. So when the amygdala is in control, logic doesn't work. The facts don't work. The solutions that you might have used don't work. So what does work? Well, validation works. When we validate someone, we're not agreeing with them. We're valuing them as a human being. We're labeling their emotions, and by doing so, we're showing them that we're listening to them and how they feel is important. Now, Douglas Noel, who has done extraordinary work in de-escalation, teaches something very powerful. When people are emotional, don't respond to their words, respond to their feelings. And Chris Voss, former FBI hostage negotiator, teaches something similar. They both use labeling of emotions and they stress the absolute importance of it. You label the emotion you hear, not the argument. The emotion, here's the critical distinction. When someone is agitated, you're not listening for the content of what they're saying, you're listening for their emotion. The emotion could be anger, could be fear, could be frustration, could be humiliation, could be a feeling of powerlessness. So you listen beneath the words and then you label what you hear. For example, it sounds like you're really frustrated. It seems like you're feeling ignored. It sounds like this has been really upsetting for you. Notice something important here. You're not agreeing with them. You're not conceding to their wishes or requests. You're not saying they're right. You are simply identifying and naming the emotional experience that they're having. And that is validation. Why does this work? Well, because when someone feels understood at an emotional level, their nervous system begins to settle. Their amygdala, their emotional brain, reduces its alarm response. And as the emotional intensity drops, the prefrontal cortex, the rational thinking part of the brain, begins to come back online. Only then can we have a real conversation with them. Only then can we help them problem solve. And only then can logic be used. So here's a mistake most people make. They try to solve the problem while the other person is still in their emotional state. But when someone is emotional, they don't want solutions. They want to feel heard. And until they feel heard, they will keep escalating. Now, validation is not weakness. We're helping them regulate their brain. Let me give you a simple structure you can use. Step 1. Stay calm. Tell yourself, I've got this. Self-talk is so important. Slow down your voice and lower your tone. The tone of our voice is so important when we're attempting to de-escalate someone. Now, if we couple this with our body language, it accounts for a massive 90% of our communication to the other person. That's huge. So tone and body language together. And it's important to approach the other person slowly and with open body language. Step 2. Listen for their main emotion, not the story. Step 3, label their emotion clearly and simply. It sounds like you're angry. It seems like you're feeling overwhelmed. Then stop. Let it sink in. Silence is powerful. Often you'll see a physical shift. Their shoulders drop, their breathing slows, they sigh. And many times they'll respond with, yes, that's right. Not you're right, but that's right. At that moment, yes, that's right, tells you their emotional brain is settling. Now you can start listening to the words. Now you can move towards solutions. So validation is not about manipulation, it's all about respect. It says, I see you, I hear you. Your emotional experience makes sense. And when people feel emotionally understood, they become far more open to listening to you and having a two-way conversation. So next time you encounter someone who is agitated, don't argue, no, don't correct, don't explain. First, validate them by listening for the emotion. Label their emotion or their emotions. Allow their amygdala to settle. Then and only then move into a rational conversation. That's how we de-escalate. That's how we create safety. And that's how we turn conflict into communication. Now, if this has been helpful, you'll find more free resources at tas.com.au. Organisations interested in structured training can also learn more there.